Shabbat Shalom. This is First Tabernacle Fellowship. I'm Rabbi Robert Lee Holman, Jr. Welcome to the Sabbath worship. To the Most High, to the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, we offer praise and we offer worship. For I will wholeheartedly give thanks to Yahweh in the council of the upright and in the assembly. To you, Yahweh, we give you praise. We give you thanks. We give you all the glory. And we thank you for this wonderful day, this Shabbat that you have provided for us. We thank you for life, health, strength, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May your word and your words go out to the ears of those who are receptive to hear. May your spirit cover the universe, bring to us the opulent understanding that resides in you. We thank you. We ask you today to bless the worship, the one who's going to teach, that your ruach fall upon them. Bless those of the nation of Hebrew Israel in exile all over the world. May Yahweh give us grace and strength and power. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. For this is the day Yahweh has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. You are my Elohim. I give you glory and praise. For my enemies have not defeated us. I want to bring forth to you this wonderful medley of worship. I lift my hands, I lift my voice and worship unto you, Yahweh. I give my heart, I give my soul, and praise unto you, Yahweh. It is my desire of honor. May my worship be pleasing unto you, Yahweh. It is you that I love. It is you that I want. It's you, oh, that I need, Yahweh. my voice in worship unto you, Yahweh. It is my desire to be your vessel of honor. May my worship be pleasing unto you, Yahweh. It is you that I love. It is you that I want. Yeah, it's you, oh, that I need, Yahweh. It is my desire to be your vessel of honor. May my worship be pleasing unto you, Yahweh. Yeah. It is you that I love. It is you that I want. Yeah. It's you that I need, Yahweh. Here we go, y'all. Your loving kindness is what I need. Your grace and mercy is what I need. Yeah. To reign and dwell with you is what I need. To feel your presence. Come on. Is what I need. Yeah. I offer you my worship. I offer you all my praise. I offer you my faithfulness. I offer my life you gave. Come on, from the beginning. Come on, y'all. Your loving kindness is what I need. Your grace and mercy is what I need. Whoa, to reign and dwell with you is what I need. To feel your presence. Come on. It's what I need. Here we Touch my eyes so I can see. Touch my ears so I can hear. Touch my soul so I can heal. Touch my heart, come on, why? So I can feel. Here we go. I offer you my worship. I offer you, oh, my praise. I offer you my faithfulness. I offer you my life you gave. So I say, hallelujah. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Lead me, Yahweh. I will follow. Lead me, Yahweh. I will go. When you call me, I will answer. Lead me, Yahweh. I will go. Lead me, Yahweh. I will follow. Lead me, Yahweh. I will go. 'Cause when you call me, I will answer. Lead me, Yahweh. I will go. 'cause when you call me, I will answer. Lead me, Yahweh. Lead me, Yahweh. Lead me, Yahweh. I will go. 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 Lead me, Yahweh. I will go. Being here in congregation with all of those of you who have gathered with us today to participate in this wonderful day that the Most High has given us called the Shabbat. We are pure Hebrews. By that, we teach from the scriptures. We don't embellish. We don't spiritualize. And we believe that Yahweh is the only Elohim, and there is none greater than He. He expresses Himself in the book of Yeshayahu, chapter 44. And He tells us, I'm the first, I'm the last. Beside me, there is no other. So in all reality, there is no name given among men whereby we are able to be saved other than the name of Yahweh. Joel chapter 3 says, they that call upon the name of Yahweh will be saved, will be delivered. There is no greater spirit in the universe than our King, our Savior, and our Redeemer. We're happy for all of those of you that are in the house with us, and Hebrew Israel, everywhere that you are today that are listening. Our teacher, Ambassador Sean Appleton, is going to come today and continue the teaching from last week. I find it to be very important for Hebrew Israelites to know the times, the seasons, and understand the Father's calendar. We have been on the Ashkenazi's schedule ever since 2007. But I made a proclamation a few weeks ago that I was going to drop all Ashkenazism. We're Hebrews. Our lineage comes from Father Abraham. Bereshit, he says, go tell Abraham the Hebrew, the 12 sons of Israel are Hebrew. They are melanated people. We're not angry. We're not mad. We're not going to holler and yell at you. We're not going to put the nations down because the Most High has given us a mitzvah that speaks to the fact that we are supposed to treat the foreigner in a right way, to remember that you were once foreigners in Mitzrayim. There is a truth, and that truth lies in the scriptures. At this time, Ambassador Appleton.
Oh my goodness. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. That's how y'all answer me. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, sir. Shabbat Shalom. All right. Shabbat Shalom. I want to do a little bit of an introduction today. Okay? I want to take a book, again, page out of the book of the elder statesman here. Let me get to my monologue real quick before we get into the core of the teaching. I want to welcome all of you that are viewing by way of the stream, that are watching us by TV or whatever social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Napster. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody got it. As old. If you're viewing us by way of vinyl, by 8-track, cassette tape, however you are viewing this, I say Shabbat Shalom to you. It is an awesome thing to be amongst the Most High's people on his designated day. I say Shabbat Shalom to all our enemies and foes. May you be gone with you. You shall not come in here and devour our merrymaking. So you got to talk to them in their terminology, these and thuses and thous, because they don't, when you talk to them from a Hebrew standpoint, they don't understand what you're saying. I got the liberty to make fun of them. One of our teachers actually made fun of him. He said, hey, maybe your God is on the party. Maybe he's traveling somewhere. Maybe his baggage is stuck in customs, and he just can't come right now. Maybe he's tired. He's taking a nappy time. So I say to all of you, Shabbat Shalom, to the elder statesman and elder ambassador, my mentor and teacher, Robert B. Holman Jr., Shabbat Shalom to you, sir. To Ambassador Kevin Holman, Shabbat Shalom to you, sir. And actually, I wanted to send a special shout out to a person that I think gets unsung. And that's my wife. I mean, see, a lot of people don't understand it's very difficult when you're married and then you have to share your husband with work, with these extracurricular activities, the calling that has been put upon me to be able to go in and study. She doesn't get all of her husband. I could only imagine what it was like for Zipporah with Moshe, where he would go into the tent of meeting and meet with the Most High one-on-one, face-to-face, and have conversations about how he wanted his nation run. I'm pretty sure there were many a times when he came home and she just wanted a husband. So, I am not going to go any further without acknowledging my wife and her efforts to stand beside me in this journey. If you agree with that, give her a standing ovation. On your feet. We have to make sure we acknowledge the efforts of our helpmates that are in Hebrew Israel. Abraham would have been a dead man had that woman. Matter of fact, excuse me, a dead man if he had not had his wife with him. So, without further ado, I have the auspicious, ostentatious, gargantuan, opulent task and honor to finish this study on our calendar. The Most High did something, and I want to recognize it right now. I was in the middle of my teaching of Shemuel. We stopped at chapter 9, and I had made a declaration, and I said that we need to tackle this issue of the new moon, which got me into studying the new moon, which turns out to be really the new month, which ended up being what? The study of the year, which is the study of our calendar, which the Most High put it in its proper place and timing. Because what you're going to see today is that what I'm going to give you as a reference tool goes right along with this perfect timing that the Most High was orchestrating in FTF. It started when that young man back there in the corner with all the fish bones on his face had said, I want to do away with all this Ashkenazism. And it led us here. So let's finish our discussion on the calendar. What can you remember from last week? Anybody? Don't all everybody jump up at one time. Day and night are equal time. That's when we start our year. What else do you remember? Starts in March. The new year. What about the new year? When the new year starts. Okay. What else? Excuse me? Every season has 3 months. Right. What else? That is correct. It has a pattern. 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. What else do you remember? Yes, ma'am. So if you go by the lunar calendar, it is 354 days. If you go by the Hebraic calendar, it is 364 days. So if you go by the lunar calendar, you're going to be off by 10 days, which again, if you do it year after year, your seasons are going to slide in areas where they shouldn't be. You'll be celebrating Aviv in the middle of the winter, when Aviv means springtime, okay? Anything else? You all have done an excellent job, okay? So, because you've done an excellent job, I'm going to reward you with something. It's not me that's rewarding you, it's the Most High. Because literally, after we had got done doing our teaching last week, the Most High put it in my spirit to devise our calendar for us. I am going to, if you can help me out, Elder Statesman. What I've done is made a calendar based on the Hebrew text. Thank you. We're going to go over this real quick. Not real quick, but we're going to go over it in depth. So my goal is for everybody to understand the dates that are on the calendar, why they're there, and how they're calculated. Most people, because I got this overwhelming sense last time that we did the groundwork, which we did an excellent job because you guys hit all of the high points that are in this document. You hit all the high points. And so therefore, this is the culmination of all the things that we talked about last week. So let's go. I want to go some places first so you guys can understand where and how some of these things are calculated. Now, I have Elder Statesman, Elder Holman, helping me today. I shouldn't say ambassador. I'm going to start losing that elder. He ain't no kind of, in some kind of elder, like, oh, he getting ready to sit down. He ain't about to sit down. Okay? So head ambassador Holman is going to help me today. If you have questions while I'm going through this, just kind of flag him down. He'll help you walk through where we're going, okay? We're going to make this what we call in the old church plain. Make it plain, Doc. All right. I want to do some proofs first. Last week I talked about the Apocrypha books. Now I want you to understand that this is devised between three different documents. Number one, it's devised from the Apocrypha book called the Book of Enoch. It also comes from the 6th chapter of Jubilees. We go to the 72nd chapter, 7-2 chapter of Enoch to get some of this information. And we're also going to go to Vayikra, which is chapter number 23 in the Masoretic text. You're going to need all three of these in order to calculate this calendar. Okay? But I want to go to the book of Jubilees first. Actually, excuse me. Let's go to the book of Enoch. Enoch is one of these guys that when you read him, he's going to sound very cryptic. But I'm going to try my best, if we can blow that up, to walk through the 72nd chapter of the book of Enoch. What you're going to find in the 72nd chapter of the book of Enoch, he's going to tell you how many days are in the year. And he's going to tell you the pattern. The 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. That's where this comes from. All right? So let's start. Verse 1, book of Enoch, chapter number 72. Go down a little bit. There we go. The scroll of the courses of the luminaries of the heavens, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion and seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy messenger, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all of the years of the world and continuously, until the new creation is accomplished, which endures forever. It says, and this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary named the sun and its rising and its eastern portals of the heaven and its setting in the western portals of the heavens. What is that talking about? That's talking about a phenomenon, not really a phenomenon, but a natural thing that you experience every day. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That's all he's telling you there. And what when he's seeing, as he's being told this from the Melech, is that there are different portals, or the sun comes out of this portion of the sky, that portion of the sky. There's 6 portals, okay? So he's just observing where the sun comes up off of the horizon when he's talking about these portals. Understand? Okay, let's move forward. And this is the law of the luminaries. So I read 2 already. Let's go to 3. And I highlighted it. It says, and I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. And the moon rises and sets in these portals. And the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west. And all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and to the left of these portals. Verse number 4 says, the first goes out of the great luminary named the sun, and its circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot of which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heavens and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and it is so guided that it comes to its appropriate portal and shines in the face of heaven. In this way, he rises in the first month. So we're talking about the first month of our year. Okay? Looking for the bobbleheads. Good. Okay. Says, in this way, he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the 4th portal. And in that 4th portal, from which the sun rises in the first month, are 12 window openings, from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. It's talking about your months, 12 months. Okay? Now, verse 8. When the sun rises in the heavens, he comes out through the fourth portal for how many days? How many mornings? 30. Your first month has 30 mornings in it, in succession, and sets accurately in the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer, and the night nightly shorter to the 13th morning. And on that day is longer than the night by a ninth part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. What is he trying to say there? He's just observing how much daylight and nighttime you actually have. Okay, that's what he's trying to explain. All right, 11 says, and the sun rises from the fourth portal and sets in the fourth portal and returns to the fifth portal. So it's moving. This is the start of another month. And, to the fifth portal of the east for how many mornings? 30 mornings. So our second month has 30 days in it. Okay? 30 mornings and rises from it and sets in the fifth portal. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts and amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. If you look at the parts that he's talking about, he's counting in terms of 18s. Okay? 9 parts for day, 9 parts for night. It's kind of proportionate how you do 12 hours for daylight and 12 hours for night. Okay, to get a 24-hour period. And you have these transition periods in there called mornings and evenings. Okay, what did I leave off? 13. And it returns to the east and enters the sixth portal and rises and sets in the sixth portal for how many mornings? 31. So your third month has 31 mornings. All right? This follows the pattern here. If we continue on down the line, and I'm just going to jump down, there's 15 follows the pattern. There's 30 mornings in verse 15. That would be your fifth month. Sixth month starts in verse 17. Excuse me. No, I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 15th verse is your fourth month. Your 17th verse is your what month? Fifth month. Your 19th verse is your sixth month. So you've got what? A pattern of 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. Let's go to verse 20. It says, on that day, the day is equalized with the night, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. Okay? So, he's talking about sometime in the middle of the Hebrew year, which happens to be around the month of September. You're going to get this thing called, what they call a equinox. All right? I don't like using the term equinox because equinox is based on the circumference of a globe and when the equator has its direct light over top of it. It's not talking about an equinox here in the text. It's talking about an equilux. Remember, I introduced that term last week, where there's equal day and equal night. So what he's telling you is sometime in 6 months, you're going to have this period of time called an equilux. All right? That's around verse 20. Do we have that? 2 times a year. Is the light equal to the day? This is the first one. This would be in the fall. Okay? When you see it on the calendar, it'll make so much better sense. Going on to verse 21. So this would be the start of our 7th month. How many days does it have in it? 30. That's in verse 21. Verse 23. If you skip down, that's our 8th month. How many days are in it? 30. Verse 25. 9th month. How many days are in it? 31. All right. 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. Each season has 30, 30, 31. All right? Make sense? All right. Follows the same pattern. Again, in verse 27, is going to start your 10th month. Your 11th month is in verse 29. Your 12th month is 31 days. That's in verse 31. I'm going to read 32 because I highlighted it there. So, it says, on that day, this is the end of the year. End of the year. On that day, the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly how many days? 364 days. So what did we learn from Enoch? We learned that how many months are in each one of the, how many days are in each one of the months, and we've learned that our Hebrew calendar is 364 days. So we know, what are we looking for according to Enoch here? I'm giving you all of the calculations and the proof that I did in order to come up with this calendar. It says here in 32, equal light, equal night. Can't forget that, it rhymes. Equal night, equal light. When is that? Glad you asked. You can go onto your mobile device. Now, get me from this camera over here, or one of these cameras on the side, because the white balance off of this board messes with, it makes me like super dark. So one of the side cameras on this board, please. How do I know when there's equal light and equal night? Well, I just looked it up. And it says on March 17th, you have 12 hours of daylight. So that means you're going to have 12 hours of night on March 17th. Okay? According to this, getting it back to text, if I'm looking for the last day of the year, which is equal day, equal night, then the very next day is going to be what? March 18th. All right? So that's how I know where to start it. Where does the year start? That answers that question. Book of Enoch, 72nd chapter, verse 32. Equal light, equal night. That's when you start it. It's already been calculated for you right off of here, off of Google. Sacramento, California, even in the region that we are in. So some people want to say, hey, well, it deals with the longitude and latitudinal coordinates of where you are on the globe. Some people might come out and say that. So, therefore, you have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime. So the very next day is March what? 18th. March 18th is going to be your what? New Year. It's the first day of the first month of the new year. All right? I want to go to Book of Jubilees, chapter 6. Put a pin in that. We're going to come back to it, and then we're going to dive right into this calendar. We're going to read it. We're going to make sure everybody understands it. Book of Jubilees. This is another apocrypha book. Again, if you're coming out of, or you're in other religions, mainly Christianity, they steer you away from the apocryphal books because of the fact that they give you these 3 issues. You remember what I said last time? They tell you to stay out of the apocryphal books because Jesus never quoted it. They also tell you to stay out of there because they're uninspired. Okay? All right? And then the third one is that we don't know who the authors are of some of these apocryphal books, so just stay away from them. My stance on the apocryphal books is that you need them. They're in the Masoretic text. They're referenced in the Masoretic text. You need to have a good, strong understanding of the Masoretic text before you go into the apocryphal books, because you will get turned around very quick if you don't have a good understanding of what's there. Let me jump back over here into the view board here. Come on, Bessie. There you go. Book of Jubilees. What the Book of Jubilees is going to establish for us is that when our seasons are, and it's going to show you that our ancestor Noah celebrated the beginning of each season. Okay? So, let's go through this, and really I'm probably going to stop at, no, I need to read, I'm going to skip around a little bit, but there's some key points in here. Verse 22 says, "For I have written in the book of the first law." This is the book of Jubilees, chapter 6, starting at verse 22, all the way through verse 38. "In that which I have written for thee." Here we go with this thou, this, and thous. And you're going to deal with that when you're dealing with the apocryphal books. that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season, one day in the year, and I explain to thee its sacrifices, and the children of Israel, the empire of Israel, should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month on one day in every year. 23, highlighted. And on the new month, I don't like that. Yeah, definitely. When you see it, you'll probably see it as the new moon. That's not correct. On the new month of the first month, and on the new month of the fourth month, and on the new month on the seventh month, and on the new month of the 10th month. What did we just do? First month, fourth month, seventh month, 10th month. They're all 3 months apart. These are going to be the tops of your seasons. You're going to find out. These 4 times at the beginning of those months, 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th, what does it say? Are the days of remembrance and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony. How long? Forever. So, it's a day of remembrance, and it marks the top of your season. So in your Hebrew calendar, you know exactly when your seasons start. At the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th month. All right? Now, verses 24, I'm going to skip around a little bit. Verses 24 through 31 talk about our ancestor Noah and the different things that happened on the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th month. That when he actually exits out of the ark, he's remembering these times. And that's what verses 24 through 30 are. For expediency, I'm going to skip over that. But when you have time, you can go through that. I want to skip down to 30. Start here. And all the days of the commandment will be how many? 250 weeks of days. 52 weeks. How many? Do the math. 364 days divided by 7 is what? 52. Your ancestors knew how to calculate their calendar, but for some odd reason, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this loud. You cannot take your Gregorian Roman Catholic calendar that was created in 1582, sometime thereabouts, and put a Hebrew calendar in it. The first calendar that was ever instituted was by the Most High back in Bereshit chapter number 1, verse 14, when it says he put 2 lights up in the sky. Every other calendar that comes out, if it fits into the Hebrew, not us into it. All right? I got to make that what they call in the Earl Church plain. The entire year, matter of fact, 50, it says 250 weeks of days, and these will make what? The entire year complete. Thus, it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tablets. They cannot falter. Their commandments in the heavenlies says that they have to obey this. And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. Command thou children of Israel, or empire of Israel, that they are to observe the years according to this reckoning. How many? 64 days will constitute a complete year, not 365. And they will not disturb its time for its days from its feast. So, if you're on a 364-day calendar, you can't mess up when the feasts and festivals are. This is what this is saying. So, for everything will fall out of them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day, nor disturb any feast. 33. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb their seasons, and their years will be dislodged from this order. Have they not? Wow, okay. And they will disturb the seasons, and their years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances, and all the children or empire of Israel will forget, and they will not find the path of their years. Is this prophetic? This is happening right now. And they will forget the new months, the seasons, and the Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the orders of the years. We got a trunk full of folk next tomorrow. Don't know nothing about this. Okay? 4, I know, and from henceforth I will declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles. There you go, Christmas. There you go, Easter. There you go, everything else. This is in the Apocrypha book that they tell you not to read. And after the error and after their ignorance, 36 is pivotal. It's a good pivot point because it focuses your attention on something. It says, for there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon and how it disturbs the season and comes in from year to year. How many days too soon? What did I say? Your ancestor knew without the advent of science that it was going to be 354 days for a lunar calendar. That's why you don't use it. Did I ever say anything in my dissertation, saints, about a sliver? Nothing in this calendar is based off of a sliver or a phase of the moon. Anybody coming to you with that, they're not in compliance. What text has got going on over here in these books. 37, for this reason the years will come upon them, and they will disturb the order and make an abominable day. Who is the prophet that says it doesn't matter because you guys are worshiping on the wrong days anyway? Your feast days are a stench in my nose or something like that. That's what the prophet says that the Most High says. That you guys aren't even doing it on the right day. I got to get that text. But there's a place in the prophets where it actually says that. You done got so far off that the days that you even offer your sacrifices to me on the appointed times are not even in the right season. And to make an abominable day of testimony, and an unclear day, a feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy, for they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayst testify to them. For after thy death the children will disturb them, so they will not make the year 364 days. That's exactly what we've done. We've made it more. And this reason they will go wrong as to the new months and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. This is who is speaking here? This is in the book of Jubilees. And look at what it says at the end of 38. It says you're going to abandon all the new months, the Sabbaths, the seasons, and they will eat all kinds of blood. This is a symbolic of my blood that has been shed. Oh, okay, wait a minute. With all kinds of, and my body that's been broke. Oh, wait a minute. So this was written, and they told you to stay away from this kind of information. Okay? Wow. Let's go to one more place before we get into this calendar real quick. I would like to go over real quick the 3 mitzvot on the new month before we go forward, because we have to start observing the new month, okay? And we have to, if anything else, observe the changing of the season. Let's go to Bamidbar chapter 10, verse 10. That is Numbers chapter 10, verse 10. All right. Also, on your days of rejoicing, at your designated times, and on the new month. I'm not going to use the term Rosh Chodesh because it leads you to the word new moon. It's not a new moon. It's the new month. And on the new month, you are to sound the trumpet over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings. These will be a reminder before your El. Signed, I am Yahweh, your El. So what does it tell us about our designated times and the new month? That we are what? We're to sound the shofar and offer burnt offerings. Is this a holy convocation? No. Can we do this in our exile? No. We can't do this in our exile, not in totality, because it's telling us to do burnt offerings. In order for us to do burnt offerings, we have to have a specific place where this has to happen. We have to have the articles. We have to have our Levitical priesthood in order. We have to have the temple needs to be reestablished. So in totality, we can't do this, but we can observe it, just like we do any of the other Moedims that actually tell us to offer specific sacrifices at that time. We don't do it in its totality, but we do observe it. That makes sense? All right, let's go to one more place. Bamidbar, chapter number 28, verses 11 through 15. All right. And then we're going to get into that document right in front of you. So one of the cameras needs to be up on one of the screens when we go to the calendar because, again, I don't want any white balance issues. So it says, verse 11, at each new month of yours, you are to present a burnt offering to Yahweh, consisting of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs in their first year without defect, with 6 quarts of fine flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering for the 1 ram, and 2 quarts of fine flour with olive oil as a grain offering for each lamb. This will be the burnt offering giving a fragrant aroma, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. Their drink offerings will be 2 quarts of wine for a bull, 1 1/3 quarts of ram for the ram, and 1 quart for each lamb. This is the burnt offering for every new month throughout the months of your years. Does this answer the question that we're supposed to do something on every single new month? Yes. Again, cannot be done in its totality because all these burnt offerings we can't bring. Okay? But we can observe it. All right? And it's good that we observe it because we need to get the practice in, because when we get back into the land, you're going to need to do it when you get there, okay? So we just don't need to blow it off. Also, a male goat is to be offered as a sin offering to Yahweh, in addition to the regular burnt offerings and its drink offering. Now, that goes through that. Let's talk about the calendar that I have devised in front of you. So let's go through this real quick. Excuse me, not real quick. We're going to go through it very thoroughly. Okay. Can anybody remember what I had said before? Let me tell you what you got in front of you so you can read it. The red boxes represent the Hebrew month. In Hebrew, we refer to the months by number. The first month, second month, fourth month, fifth month, 7th month, 10th month, 11th month, 12th month. The number in the box, the red box, is the month, the Hebrew month. The big number in the center is the day of the month. Let's read one together. I'm looking right here in the middle at this one right here that says 12/22. Does everybody see that? How would I say that in Hebrew? In the 12th month, on the 22nd day. What day is that in your Gregorian calendar? That is March 8th. You see how you're reading and deciphering that? So the little number in the top left-hand corner is the actual Gregorian calendar day for 2023. All right? The two numbers in the middle represent the Hebrew month and the Hebrew day of the month. Is that clear? Let's go over one more time. The number in the red box, number in the red box is the Hebrew month. The 12th month of the year. The big number is the day in the month. So, if I'm reading this in the Hebrew calendar, it's the 12th month on the 22nd day, which happens to be March 8th. On the Gregorian calendar. So, what did we just say? Let's do some of these proofs and walk through this, because the more you look at it, the more you're going to be like, oh, I see what he's doing. I'm resolving both the Gregorian calendar. Actually, I'm putting the Gregorian calendar inside the Hebrew calendar and doing the conversions and the calculations for you. Okay? What did I say on the board, on this other tab that I had up here? We're looking for the last day of the year, which is what? Equal light, equal night. It says it's on the 17th of March. On your calendar, what day is the 17th of March? No. What did I just ask you? What's the 12th month? In the 12th month, let me ask this better question. Equal light, equal night. We just said that it was March 17th. March 17th is what day on the Hebrew calendar? Woo! The 31st. It would be in the 12th month on the 31st. How do you know that there are 31 days in the month, in the 12th month? Because we just went over it in the book of Enoch, where you had that what do I call it, a pattern? 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. 30, 30, 31. You got 31 days. So if you got to get this point on where we start, this is super important. I'm starting my year equal light, equal night. It tells me that day is the 17th of March. That's the last day of the Hebrew year according to the book of Enoch. That means the first day of the new month of the new year is what day on the Gregorian calendar? The 18th, which is what? A Shabbat. Now, you're going to see something very interesting happen when you start doing it this way. All your Shabbats. Matter of fact, this is so important for you to understand, because if you forget the Shabbats, you're going to miss about 70% of all your Moedims. Let's work it. If this is the first day, first month, first day of the first month is on March 18th. When is our next festival? Pesach. So what do? Count 14 days to Pesach. Right? That will put you on what day? The 31st of March. That's when Pesach is. And I've made a little note down at the bottom so you can see it says starts on the evening of the 13th. Because when you read the mitzvot in Vayikra chapter 23, it says that you're supposed to start it in the evening. Right? So, what's the day after Pesach that we're supposed to celebrate? Feast of Matzah. Imagine that the Feast of Matzah falls on a Shabbat. Feast of Matzah, if you read Vayikra chapter 23, it will tell you that the Feast of Matzah is a 7-day feast. You have a holy convocation on what? The Shabbat, which conveniently it falls on the Shabbat. And then you'll have the Holy Convocation on the last day, which is what day in April? The 7th. If you read the mitzvot, it says, it decouples. This is the thing that the Ashkenazis were doing. What they were doing was they were starting the counting or waving of the sheaf on the Feast of Matzah. It doesn't say to do that. If you read the text, matter of fact, let's get it. Let's go to Vayikra, chapter number 23. All right. No, let's scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. Let's keep going. Designated times for you at the month, Pesach. Stop right there. On the 15th day, where did that go? Okay, on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Matzah. For 7 days you are to eat matzah. On the first day, what? It says you are to have a holy convocation. Don't do any kind of ordinary work, but bring an offering made by fire to Yahweh for 7 days. On the 7th day is a holy convocation. Holy convocation. Holy convocation. All right? It says, do not do any kind of ordinary work. Yahweh said to Moshe, tell the people or the empire of Israel, after you enter the land, I am giving you a harvest, its ripe crops. You are to bring a sheaf of first fruits of your harvest to the Kohanim, and he is to wave the sheaf before Yahweh, so that you will be accepted. The Kohen is to wave it on the day after the Shabbat. Look at your calendar. Look at what it does. It doesn't say that the starting of the waving of the sheaf is inside the Feast of Matzah. You finish Matzah. And then it says what? I finished Matzah on this day, which is a Friday. It says the day after the Shabbat. What's the day after the Shabbat? The 23rd. That is a start of your 7-day count. To what? To Shavuot. So let's count 7 weeks to Shavuot. If this is the first day that you're going to start counting, then the 29th right here would be the end of that first week, right? So count 7 starting from here. 29 is 1. The 6th is 2. The 13th is 3. The 20th is 4. The 27th is 5. The 26th is 7, and look at that. It falls on another Shabbat. Shavuot falls on a Shabbat. Now, let's go back, because what did we do here? We said, let's make sure we got it correct. I said what? How many days are in the first month? 30 days. How many days are in, see how I'm reading this? Second month. 30 days. There better be 30 days in that second month. It put you here. How many days are in that last set in the spring season? 31. There better be 31 days. 31 days. Man, look at that. Your Shabbat starts the new season. You will find when you go through this calendar that the changing of the seasons all fall on Shabbats. You can't mess it up. Okay? This is the perfect way to explain the Most High's way of thinking, because all you have to do is stay in the increment of sevens. Okay? Let's go on. So the beginning of the 4th month is on, let's check it, in the month of June. Okay? That's right. So let's keep going. July, 30, 30, 31. We're coming up on another one. 30, 30, 31. So the 6th month has 31 days in it, right? So what, let's pop quiz. In the 6th month on the 15th day, what is that in the Gregorian calendar? In the 6th month on the 15th day. What's the 6th month on the 15th day? 6th month, 15th day. August 30th. Very good. Does everybody understand how we did that? Good. Very good. What does it say in our mitzvot about the Feast of Terumah, Feast of what? Trumpets. We have the Feast of Yom Kippur, and then we have the Feast of Sukkot, of Ingathering. It says what? in Vayikra chapter number 23, on the 7th month on the first day. What's the 7th month on the first day? What day is that? What day is that? It's a Shabbat. Fall season begins. It's a super Shabbat. Why? Because number one, it's a Shabbat. Number two, it's the beginning of your fall season, which you are to observe. And three, it's the beginning of the Feast of Trumpets. You kill them all on one day. See, when people are coming and tell you that your dates are falling under the middle of the week, that's not right. Most High is going to make it convenient for you so when you're all here already. I ain't going to inconvenience you. I know that you're agriculturalists. I know you got to make money. Why in the world would I have you meeting on these oddball days? Why don't I just do it when everybody's here? It's the same thing that you do at work. When you call somebody, you ask them for a meeting. When is the most convenient time for everybody? When we're all here. First day. What does he say? On the 10th day in the 7th month shall be Yom Kippur. I made you a little note on Yom Kippur because if you read the mitzvot on Yom Kippur, it says you're to take it from evening to evening. It starts on the evening on the 9th, ends on the evening of the 10th day of the month. All right? Then it says what? On the 15th day of the month is the beginning of Sukkot. What does it say about Sukkot? It says you are to have a holy convocation on the 1st and the 8th day. Man, we start Sukkot, what? On a Shabbat, count 8 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The end of Sukkot is on another Shabbat. The Most High's calendar is very elegant. It's very easy. Very simple. So, we're in the 8th month. How many days should we have in the 8th month? 30 days we should have in the 8th month. Look at that. 30 days, 8th month. 9th month, how many days should we have? 31. Right. Because in the 10th month is the beginning of a Shabbat, which we observe because that's the beginning of what season? Winter. You observe the beginning of the spring on a Shabbat, the beginning of the summer on a Shabbat, the beginning of fall on a Shabbat, and the beginning of winter on a Shabbat. You keep going. You keep going. And you say, okay, now I'm down. Now I'm already into, did you see how we kicked over and we went into 2024? Now giving you the conversion all the way into the next year. 2024. We are in February of 2024. We start in the 12th month on the first day in 2024 is what day? The day of love for autumn, for everybody else. It's Valentine's Day next year. We'll be celebrating it for another reason. While the pagans are out there doing their thing, we'll be worshiping the Most High. Oh my goodness, look at that. How many days should be in the 12th month? 31 days. Oh my goodness, look at this. When we go all the way back, if we do 364 days, folks, it puts you back on your first day of the new year is on a Shabbat. It doesn't move. Your calendar from here on out doesn't move. The only thing that moves is the Gregorian calendar inside it. We have it backwards. This should provide some clarity. Now, what I'm going to do with this calendar is for those of you that are here, you have it. We are going to publish this, and you know how when you flip the calendar up, you know when you get one, we're going to put this out and we're going to make it available for everybody, okay? So when you flip the calendar out, you see a nice little picture up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a picture up there and I'm going to put the actual scriptures upon which you can find all of these dates. So if anybody coming by your cubicle in your office or you at home and they want to say, how in the world did you calculate that it is? Pick your Bible up. Let's have just a short little Bible study, since you call it that. We'll use your term, and we'll use the text to prove how off we are. You will have all of the calculations upon to which to make yourself successful. So you can explain, what are we doing? We're stepping into the role of Hebrew Israel. We are to what? Be the leaders to everybody else. They shouldn't be teaching you about your calendar and how you are to observe it, and then tell you that your mitzvot are done away with. They do away with the whole entire system that the Most High has set in the heavenly tablets in order for these things to move. They say that is irrelevant. The more and more I hear this issue of it's weak and ineffective and been done away with, it agitates me to my core. Because everything that you will understand now has everything to divert you away from the Most High. So what that your ancestor told you already? If they forget, they'll forget the Shabbat. They'll forget the new month. They'll forget all the Moedims. All of the seasons will be out of balance, and they won't know where they are. Okay? Are we good? We are good. Use that as a tool. If you have questions, please ask. It's something that you should be able to we can go off of from here on out. So what does that mean next week? What's next week for us? It's time to party. I did it. My kids is like, that's cringy. Emotional damage. No, next week is not Pesach. It's the new month. It's the new year. It's the beginning of the the spring season. How we know the spring season? I got cherry blossoms around my street. You see them? The plants are starting to come back. You see that? Wow, I wonder why. Next week, when your teacher comes up here and shreds that stage up, which he always does, we always get something out of it, don't you? Thank you. That's going to be our new year. Okay? And then we know that we need to come back for a holy convocation on that Friday, on the following week. I need to go all the way back to my, matter of fact, I don't need to because it stays the same. I can be in 2024 and it'll still be the same. We're going to come back 2 weeks later. Shouldn't say a week later, but 2 weeks later, and you'll have that on that Friday. And then we'll go right into the Feast of Matzah, count your 7 days, and then you jump over the Shabbat, and then you start counting your 49. It's all set up, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. Listen, the Shabbat is the gateway. Everybody in here can attest that when you started finding out more about the Most High is when you started observing the Sabbath. It's very elegant, all right? The next time I get up and speak, hopefully that resonated with everybody and you got a tool to use. The next time I'm going to get up and talk, I'm going to get up and speak about Shemuel. You know, where we left off last time, where all the ladies got together and they said what the ultimate man looks like. He need to be basically the devil. What do you mean? You know what I mean by the devil, right? You want your man to be the devil. 6 feet tall, 6-pack. 6 figures? 666? Okay, come on, stay with me. We will go through Shemuel chapter 9, do a brief reintroduction of Shemuel chapter 9 where we left off, and then continue to keep moving forward. I want to get to King David. He is right around the corner. I'm telling you, if you got something out, thank you, if you got something out of Shemuel, if you got something out of the Judges, wait till you meet your ancestor, King David. I can't wait because when you look at him Hebraically, this dude was cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. And I could see why the Most High was like, yeah, him right there. That little guy over there with the ruddy features and the redness on him. Let's use him. So, stay tuned, more good things to come. Hebrews, have you been encouraged? Have you got a tool that you can use? All right, we are going to be on the Most High's calendar from here on out. We will meet when the Most High tells us to meet. We observe his mitzvot to the T, And now you've been given equipped with all the calculations upon which you have an answer. Somebody else might present you another case. They say, hey, we follow the sliver. Why? I don't know. It's just what we've been doing for forever. Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let me bless you. If you haven't been blessed enough already. Yiva rekaka. I'm going to do this without looking at it. Yahweh v'yishmareka. Yair Yahweh panav eleka v'huneka. Yisa Yahweh panav eleka v'yasam leka shalom. Which just simply means, may Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and show you his favor. May Yahweh lift up his face towards you and give you shalom. Until next time, I am Ambassador Sean Appleton. Shabbat Shalom.